Yo, what is going on, guys? We are back on the PC. Not gonna lie. I've been sitting here for a little minute, kind of just analyzing the trades that we took today and kind of working on the new system. So we we kind of had a problem with our previous trade with catching um missing the move, right? Our analysis was pretty good. A majority of the time the trade would play out, but we would miss the move, right? And that's because um, would have our sweep. We would have our we would have our kind of we would have our breaker structure, right? Um, and we would have our retrace into equilibrium, and we had our fucking retrace back, yeah, back into equilibrium, filled in, didn't really fill in the POI, but we did have this inversion gap here, but we don't really use inversions. We kind of want fresh POI, so I kind of got rid of that. But again, here we trace into equilibrium, and yeah, the trade ends up playing out on one big move, right? We had that sweep, and we had a straight continuation to our take profit, which I wasn't really targeting anything, just a one or two on this one. Yeah, as you can see, price stopped us out at a 1 to 2. So we end up banking on that trade and going break even at these lows here at the structure break. Um, because if price wanted to reverse, it would definitely reverse from this low or this low here. If price wants to do that and then take us out at break even, but um, we want to catch these moves where price comes all the way down and hits our take profit before doing whatever it wants to do. You know what I mean? So like we don't want to be caught up in this, right? We want to catch the initial move on the way down, targeting that structure low, which we did get. Unfortunately, it was a um, kind of was a 1 to 2. So um, in terms of that, we have our 1 to 2, and once we had our 1 to 2, I was pretty much just experimenting again, taking another trade. Managed to bank again on this for another 1 to 2. And again, it kind of comes down to the entry model again, right? We had a sweep, no closure. We enter on that bearish candle out of this high because now we know that price is rejecting these highs here, right? Price is rejecting these highs and we aren't able to close above them, meaning what? This little uptrend that it had completed its objective, which we broke structure to the upside, which was to fill in what objective, right? In this case, it was this high. It was confirmed by no closure above. We then get a nice candle out of it. We enter, right? And the trade just ends up ripping all the way to our take profit. So these are the trades that we want, right? These are the trades that we want, where we get that straight displacement targeting the weak low. Because if we don't get a closure above this high, what does this low what does this low mean? It means it is now weak because now this low didn't achieve anything. We didn't break this low. This low was put in to take out this high. Now this should be the next target, which was exactly that. Right? We get a straight rip all the way down to our take profit. And those are the trades that we want to see. Right? Those are the trades that we want to see. Um, with the trades like, and that's kind of the entry model I've been working on. So I'll kind of break down this trade anyways, and I'll kind of go over um, that what we were kind of looking for. So when I talked about this gap, this invisible gap here, or this new week opening gap, what I should have known, right, was that this week, um, I don't know how to change this to fucking week, but if I just do this, does that put it? Um, but this week we had major USD news. right? We had FOMC statements, economic projections, federal rates, press conference, red news for the New Zealand dollar, which is us, JBP news as well, policy rate, bank rate, just a lot of shit going on. We had core retail sales as well, which is another high volatility um, kind of uh, kind of impact as well into the markets, as well as the most fucking um, this is the most unpredictable one, which is the President Trump speaks. None of these you can really predict, but this one is can fuck up the market really quick because of what Trump says. But yeah, again, we had a lot of USD red folder news, and which is why what price was doing, right? And I've seen this before. I promise you, I've seen this before. I just didn't catch on to it until I realized that we had so much fucking red folder news this week, which is why price was fucking acting weird and not acting to our assumption. Which again, we created that new week opening gap, and what did price do? We fucking made our way all the way up, right? We made our way all the way up to fucking this daily fair value gap, which is marked out here. We take these lows, we close below all these lows down here, right? Close below all those lows down there, which is to fill what? Right? To fill this fucking new week opening gap, right? And I've seen this before where price um manipulates one way, right? And we get a lot of chop. We get a sweep before news, and then we get a dump straight into the PY that we've been trying to chase all week, right? And that's what news does, right? It's a good prediction. We were spot on. I would say we were spot on the analysis when it came to this. We were spot on with that new week opening gap. But what I should have taken account was the fact that we had so much red folder news. Price was just generating liquidity, right? Leaving this new week opening gap still untouched, right? Because every new week opening gap needs to be filled. Like that is, I don't like. I would say that's close to a fact. Like it just eventually gets filled, right? And then we had that pre-market where we took out these previous highs, and then we have a straight dump to this fucking new week opening gap, which we've been trying to chase all week, right? Monday we try to get a sell into this, right? Fucking Tuesday we try to get a sell into this. Wednesday didn't trade on Wednesday, but if I was trading on Wednesday, this would be the fucking trade I'll be trying to take. It would be into this new week opening gap, um, which sucks. But again, it makes sense, right? I was so confused throughout the week. Why is this fucking gap not being filled? Like we can't just leave this here, right? And what made sense is that okay, we chase these daily highs, right? We filled in this daily fair value gap. We filled the objective, right? We filled the high time frame objective, right? Because when I look at the market, I'm looking at objective, not like I'm kind of walking away from market structure, but not really walking away, if that makes sense. I've kind of just not made it a significant um, but I still use it in my analysis in which way the market is currently going in terms of structure wise. Like as you guys can see, like we're obviously in a bearish trend currently, right? So I use market structure in that way, but I shouldn't be using it religiously, especially when we've obviously filled up an objective, right? An objective which has been filled, which is to take out these daily highs, right? Fill in this daily order block to then continue on the daily trend, right? Which is this, right? So that's the objective being filled. We can get proven wrong, but um, with all the signs pointing towards this new week opening gap, right? Because it makes sense that if we leave it, come and fill this objective, right? And then come down and come fill it. But it was just like that makes sense, right? But it was just unfortunate that this move happened when news came out, right? We're pretty much saving this new week opening gap for news. This is why um, that makes sense. Because I had a look at news, right? I have a quick look at news, and I didn't realize this until yesterday. Um, that news, and I saw all the red folder news. I knew that we were just saving this fucking POI for news, right? When we had all those red folder news, FOMC, Trump speaking, um, core retail sales. Like it only made sense when I saw that news yesterday, and we instantly dumped towards that new week opening gap. Like that's what made sense to me. Like that's just like the crazy part. Like the fact that I thought that we would use this new week opening gap to come and fill this objective. So I kind of draw it out. But when we created that new week opening gap, I thought it would fill this new week opening gap before taking up the objective, which in this case we're heading towards these daily highs here as well as this daily fair value gap. So that was also the play as well. But um, yeah, what we had is that we had a continuation all the way up to the objective, right? Took out the objective, bounced around a little bit because price didn't know what it wanted. Like we were kind of just generating liquidity here, not um not kind of doing anything else. We take out these highs that was made. So we resweep this high, and then news comes out, and we dump all the way to the new week opening gap. So the we know the objectives, right? We know the objectives. We know where price is heading to, right? That's why we use the daily time frame to see, okay, are we in any daily POIs? Are we chasing anything, right? We can see that we've taken out these lows here, but we had a closure below, right? And we get a reaction, right? So what's the reaction for? It's definitely to fucking fill this range here, right? From these highs down to these lows, right? That's why I was so keen on shorts because we've filled an equilibrium now. So what's within equilibrium? This fucking fair value gap. We have this daily high that needs to be taken as well. Um, one second. Yeah, we have these highs that were taken out, right? Within equilibrium. We shouldn't. We're now good to go short. Well, it's more probable to go short to continue on the daily trend, right? That was the fucking. That was the play, right? Um, this and again, it was just unfortunate that we couldn't get that tap back into this new week opening gap, using it to um fuel the move up to take out these daily highs here, which was the draw. We did get a sweep of these daily highs and then get a resweep of these 4 hour highs. Sorry. Yeah, daily highs, and then we resweep these 4 hour highs, and then news comes, and then we instantly dump to the new week opening gap. So yeah, it is what it is. But it made sense when I saw news come out, especially that many red folder news. But I'll kind of just break over this trade real quick, and I'll kind of jump over the new entry model that I've implemented today, as well as kind of I'll show you guys on FX replay as well, some more examples. But that's kind of where we're heading towards in terms of entry, trying to make sure that we catch those displacement moves without having to deal with the retrace. It's a bit aggressive, but if it works, it works. So um, that way we're not dealing with chop all the fucking time when we get our retrace. So if we get our retrace, right? Um, let's say we miss the move, we get the retrace, but price has already filled its objective, right? And what ends up happening is that this range isn't really valid anymore, and we end up just fucking breaking through and then doing that. So this way we catch the earliest of the move. Our stops are pretty good, so we get that 1 to 2 without that long RR. So without our RR fucking being something like this, where we have to chase all the way down here to get a 1 to 2, it would be something like like this for 1 to 2. So um, yeah, I'll kind of go over the trade. So yeah, daily again, still fucking around in this daily fair value gap, still taking out these highs here. We've resweeped these 4 hour highs, so we get that displacement. So now, what I feel like we're doing is that we've completed the objective, right? We've completed the objective. We get a resweep of these highs. We then come down and make a 4 hour gap. Um, but I knew that we would get a reaction from this new week opening gap because there would be a lot of resting orders in this area. Because what people like to do is um, they put their fucking set order limit in this new week opening gap because majority of the time it just fucking plays out towards the objective. But now the objective's been filled. We fill that daily objective. We get nice displacement from news. We get a fill of this new week opening gap. We then get a retracement into equilibrium from these highs down to these lows. And why are we bearish? Because the daily objective has been filled and we get a closure all below these lows. So where we looking to target, we can look to target these lows. We can look to target these lows here before we can get another reaction. If price was to consider going back higher. Um, but again, from what it looks like on the daily, it just looks like it pretty much just looks like this, right? That's what I'm sure it would look like on the daily. Um, but it just seems like we are chasing these lows and we didn't get a clean sweep of these lows, so just means that prices only retrace to fill an objective, which in this case was a daily objective before getting that continuation down again. So I learned like I lean shorts all fucking day because that was just a higher time frame play. But again, yeah, we had that daily objective being filled. We had that displacement from news. Waited for a retrace into this 4 hour gap. Quite small 4 hour gap. It was just made before this candle closed. And we filled it and pretty much just waited for price to fill it. And now, this is the entry model I'm talking about, is a sweep with no closure above, entering on a candle, on a nice displacement candle out of this high here. So it's pretty simple as that. It's no waiting for market structure shift, waiting for a retrace, waiting for this, waiting for that. It's more playing with the high time frame trend, waiting for the sweep to happen with no closure above. That's the important key part, is that we have no closure above, right? We need no closure. So that means that no fucking body candle closure above this line right here, about this high, right? We get some displacement moves out of this high here, which is a sign to me that price is ready to target these lows here because um this low didn't mean anything because this low didn't make a new high, so it's not protected. So we take out these highs here. We then take out these lows. Us being at break even, we were able to go for a 1 to 2. But again, with us having this displacement move, even if we did go break even, we would still have room for the trade to play out, even if it wanted to. And that way, we're still safe as well, right? So, second trade, same fucking thing, right? Same fucking thing. We're still within this 4 hour gap. We're still respecting it, right? We have um highs being set, right? We get a nice displacement move. We then come back up, resweep this high here, right? Resweep this high here, get a nice fucking candle out of it, and then we dump straight to a fucking take profit, right? Going break even at these lows, we get a nice take profit, and price just continue on the trend here. So again, if I took a trade on this, if I took a trade on this, would have gone break even after this break of structure here. Um, but and definitely would have got taken out at break even. Yeah, I see this. So we get a no closure above, we get a sweep, clean sweep. We get a displacement candle out of it. We enter. Price comes up again, hits us at a break even. We break structure once again, unable to continue down to these lows. So once we break structure, that's another point of interest to go break even at. When we break structure. So would have got stopped out on this candle here at break even. And then another model presented itself, which is even more perfect because what does it make this? Um, it makes this near equal lows, right? These two lows and price, we get a clean sweep, displacement candle out, and we've just fucking ripped all the way down to the downside. So again, beautiful, honestly, beautiful trade. These two trades here, we banked on them. So that's the kind of execution I'm working on. Now I just need to pair it with a high time frame on which high time frame POI to take it from, right? Or we can just say that price is in a bearish state, right? We can just wait for price to come into a high time frame POI and then kind of go from there. But again, same entry model here. If you wanted to go for a, if you wanted to go long, but we wouldn't. But same kind of principle here, right? Get a sweep, and then we get a nice candle above. Stop loss would be fucking really tight, and for 1 or 2, it would be this. Isn't that fucking crazy? Would be targeting these highs here, and that would be a one. That would be a uh two, yeah, 1 to 2.24. So again, like we can look to even target these highs. This would be a 1 to 9. You know, so it's fucking. It's a little bit crazy. I know it's a little bit crazy. It's a more aggressive entry, but that way, if the trade does play out, it plays out to an objective, right? So an objective would be probably these highs. These highs are probably next up here, right? Or to fill a 1 hour gap, right? To fill this range up here. So to fill in this 1 hour gap here. So as you guys can see, prices on the retrace, right? You can play the retrace. So it's kind of like, but it's something I'm still working on. We still want to be within the trend. I don't want to take these fucking trades yet because it's just low probability. But that's how the kind of entry model works, right? If you just implement it on the 5 minute time frame, it won't really work because um, we want to use we want to be as high probability as we can, right? And that's why we wait for those high time POIs like the 1 hour and the 4 hour, as well as just looking at the daily time frame as well could help with finding objectives for the day. Um, if we're at the 4 hours bullish, it just means that we're just retracing on the 4 hour. We're just retracing on the daily. So yeah, that kind of wraps it up for those two trades. But I'll kind of go over more. I think I have. Oh man, I've only got one trade here. That fucking sucks. But I took more, as you guys can see on the account down here. Um, but this was the entry model, right? Had a sweep. Right, no sweep here, but we have a sweep of these highs. And um, we enter on the second candle, stops above this high, targeting these lows down here, and we just rip, right? Rip all the way down to the downside, right? In case that if this we're targeting this low as an objective. So, the traders are playing out. Um, and yeah, I mean it's just as easy as that. We want to try and keep it simple without waiting. If we have high time frame confirmation and we have high time frame objectives, right, being met, right, with closures like this, where we know that hey, we didn't get a closure above these highs, it could be a reversal sign. Also, us being within a daily fair value gap as well. Like this is the shit I'm talking about. Like implementing, like the entry time frame don't need to be significant if we're just playing off the high time frame objectives, right? So yeah, we're actually up on this account. So if we go here, we have 7 winners and 2 losers, right? So 9 trades in total, 70%, 77% win rate so far, right? And that's already better than what we had before, right? Where we, so it's already a good sign as it is about this entry model. And all we did was just started to enter on the sweep, right? On displacement candle out of the sweep, right? Making sure that we align ourselves with a high time frame, right? Higher time frame objective, right? Have we filled the high time frame objective, right? That's what we're looking for. And I wrote 2 notes down for yesterday, which I'll go over now. So Wednesday 18th, um, I got 2 points. Taking liquidity as swing highs and swing lows. Not every single candle that is created a high or low. We need large liquidity being swept, not a candle high or a candle low, because those liquidities are low liquidity pools, not enough to fuel a huge displacement. And what do I mean by this is that we're looking at highs like like this. Looking at highs like this, not this. Even though this is a high, right? We don't want to be looking at these moves, right? Because this is just low liquidity. Same thing, kind of, I would say, same thing here. Uh, Same thing here, right? Same thing. Same thing here as a high. This would be considered a swing high. So this here. Um, this. I'm trying to find something. So this perfect example right here. This is a high created. We made a high, then a low. This makes it a high, right? This is low liquidity to me. So unless, so if we just look to target these swing highs, right, or take our trades off these swing highs, right, stuff like this, it's large enough moves to the point where if we don't get a closure above and we get a candle out of it, you know, we can look to target something like this. Of course, paired with high time frame objectives. And this will be a 1 to 5. But as you guys can see, like the trade ends up playing out a little bit, right? Unable to go break even. We would have gone break even at this breaker structure here, right? And it would have given us room. So it gives us room for the fucking trade to breathe a little bit, right? So, and if we get stopped out at break even, we get stopped out at break even. It is what it is. But that's kind of the entry model that I'm working with. I'm still working on implementing it or how to implement it on the high time frames so we can be as profitable as we can. But that is kind of the new entry model that I'm working with. And we managed to bank 2 trades today. So yeah, not too bad, not too bad. But just want to thank God as well. He's helped me on this journey as well as keep me sane during this journey as well. So I just want to give all glory to him. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. And slowly making progress. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.